Summer is here, and if you're like me, you probably want to take an instant camera everywhere. Beach trips, road trips, just being outside. But here's the thing, Polaroid film and summer heat, they often do not get along. If the temperature climbs above 82 degrees Fahrenheit, your Polaroid photos can develop this really strong magenta or orange tint, and it's usually not subtle. Meanwhile, Instax basically doesn't care. So today we're putting this to the test. I'm shooting with the Lomo'Instant wide glass and the Polaroid i2 side by side in summer heat. And I'm going to see if the chilled lunchbox with an ice pack trick beats that heat. Is Polaroid actually affected by the summer heat? Does the chilled lunchbox trick actually work? Let's find out. Alright, so here's the deal. If you shoot Instax, you've probably noticed that temperature doesn't really mess with your results. Instax film is remarkably stable. The chemistry is designed to work across a pretty wide temperature range, and honestly, unless you're shooting in really extreme cold or heat, you're probably not going to see a color shift. Polaroid, on the other hand, that's a different story. Polaroid's current color film has an optimal development range of about 52 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. You want to try to stick in that range. Now, if you're shooting indoors or in mild weather, you're probably fine. But the moment that temperature climbs above 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which, let's be real, is basically any summer day in a lot of places, the film chemistry can start to react differently. What you get is a magenta or pink or an orange color cast across your image. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it looks like your photo took a bath and dye. And here's the thing, I've seen this happen to my own shots. I've had Polaroids that I was genuinely excited about come out looking like, you guessed it, more magenta and orange than true to color. It's a bit frustrating, especially when Polaroid film isn't cheap. Now let's talk about why this actually happens, because understanding can help you prevent it. Polaroid uses a chemical process that's much more temperature sensitive than Instax. When the film ejects, a powder developer chemicals bursts and spreads across the image area. That chemical reaction is what creates your photo. For Polaroid, in the optimal temperature range, those chemical reactions happen at the right speed and in the right order. But when it gets too hot, certain color layers develop faster than others. Instax film, by comparison, uses a different chemical formulation. Fujifilm designed it to be more stable across a wider range. You can shoot Instax at 95 degree Fahrenheit heat and it'll look basically fine. Maybe not perfect, but usually way closer to accurate than Polaroid. Now here's what's interesting. Polaroid actually tells you to let your photos develop in a cooler environment if you're shooting in the heat. Their official recommendation is to get somewhere cool and dark. Some people put it in their pocket, some use a cold pack. I've even seen photographers carry small insulated bags. Which brings me to the chilled lunchbox. Now let's move into the actual test setup. Alright, so I am back at the Norfolk Botanical Garden. I'm going to apologize now if you can hear my car or my AC running. It is, according to my car, 95 degrees outside. It probably feels even hotter, so I need to stay cool as long as possible before I go out in this heat. But this is the perfect weather to test whether or not the Polaroid film chemistry color shifts in extreme heat. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna try to knock this out in like one pack of film. So the plan is to shot on Polaroid first and put it right into my chill bag, and then I'll shoot another shot and just let it develop regularly, and then I'll switch over and shoot the same shot with Instax and do the same thing over. So like I said, I'll be shooting Polaroid Instax. So for Polaroid, I'm gonna shoot with my i2, and then for Instax, I'm gonna shoot with my Lomo wide glass. So should be fun. It's gonna be hot, but let's do this. This is the cold stack, and this is the stack that was just stored regularly. So honestly, I can't tell a huge difference between these two, and I'll scan them so you guys can see them better. Yeah, these look really similar. This one does look a little more color rich than this one does, but I don't see a huge shift, like magenta or orange shift for this one. And then here, if I look at them a bit, this does look like it has a slightly more, I would say, pinkish tint. Not a whole lot. So I can kind of a little bit tiny see it, but not a lot. And then again, I don't see a huge shift. Like this does look a little greener, like right here to me, than this one does. But it's not anything crazy. So I definitely see a difference in these two. And this one is more green, which is usually what happens when stuff is cold, like too cold. So I wonder if I didn't have enough separation between this photo and like the ice pack, and that's why this turned green, as opposed to this one that just looks normal to me. Here I think I can see the color shift here. This does look a little pinker than this one does, not by much, but this does look, the colors look bolder here and like more rich here than they do here. I can get this. And then interesting, the sky is purplish for both of these, like a purplish pink, which is very interesting. But this one does look like a richer pinkish purple. And I mean, I guess it makes sense because it was in the heat longer, not by much. But even here, the sky is still not white, like it's still, or blue, it's still kind of that pinkish color. So that's really interesting. I did not see as much color shift as I thought I would. So honestly, I'm a little bit speechless. I did not expect the Polaroid film to develop like it did. The Polaroid shots that developed naturally in the summer heat, they came out more or less fine. I was genuinely surprised. I could see some slight color shift to magenta, but nothing super obvious. Like I said, the temperature hovered around 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which was firmly in what was supposed to be the danger zone for Polaroid. Certainly nothing like the color shift that I've seen in some of my other photos. The crazy thing is, I'm not even 100% sure why the colors didn't shift. Maybe it was because I kept the film chilled until right before I started shooting with it, but even the film near the end of me shooting, when the camera and film had a chance to warm up, didn't really shift. The Instax particularly didn't care about the temperature. Both sets of photos look basically identical, no real surprise there. But here's where it gets interesting. One of the chilled Polaroid photos actually shifted green pretty noticeably. My best guess is that the photo got too close to the cold pack. If you're trying to keep film in the optimal 52 to 82 degree Fahrenheit range, and you overshoot below that, the chemistry slows down and the color layers develop unevenly, just in the opposite direction. Too hot gets you magenta and orange, too cold gets you blue and green. If you're going to use the chilled lunchbox method, be careful. A cold pack straight out of the freezer may be too aggressive. Maybe try letting the cold pack sit out for 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how big it is, before you start shooting, so it's cold but not ice cold. Or wrap it in a thicker layer of cloth to buffer the temperature. The goal isn't to refrigerate your photos, it's to keep them out of the danger zone. Now, the bigger takeaway here is that maybe we're overthinking this. The conventional wisdom says Polaroid film and heat don't mix, and that's based on real chemistry. On the day I tested it, the heat didn't ruin anything. What did shift the photo was the fix that was supposed to save it. I can't say that the chill lunchbox doesn't work, and I can't promise heat won't affect your film. I've seen the color shift happen with my own photos before. I will definitely take another pack of film out in the summer heat to see if the color shift happens. Maybe I'll use a pack of film that starts at room temp to see if that matters. Tell me in the comments below, have you had Polaroid photos ruined by summer heat? And if you've tried a cooling trick like this, did it work for you? I genuinely want to know how everyone's film is reacting. If you found this video helpful or interesting, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you're new here and you're into instant and film photography, consider subscribing. I do tutorials, gear comparisons, honest reviews, and field testing like this video to help you get the most out of your cameras. Until next time, keep practicing, keep having fun, and I'll see you in the next video.